By returning here tonight, you've given me a second chance. This time, I will do what I must.
After releasing Absolver in 2017, French developer Slowclap began working on a martial arts game inspired by classic films and the legendary Jackie Chan. The result of their efforts is Sifu, a modern take on brawler gameplay rooted in an ethos of training and mastery. Sifu is here to beat you down before building you up.
Get lost. I warned you, asshole.
Sifu is a tale of revenge. After surviving a traumatic attack thanks to a magical talisman that brings them back to life, one martial arts student sets on an 8-year path of training, seeking the strength and discipline they need to avenge the loved ones they've lost. The premise is simple, but Sifu tells a gripping story with enough lore sprinkled throughout to enrich the narrative without slowing things down. Each one of your targets has their own distinct vibe, and their backstories tie together in compelling ways.
You've gotten slow, Sifu.
Combat is the heart of Sifu and boasts one of the most lovingly crafted systems in years. Inspired by Pac-Man Kung Fu, speed, power, and technique fuse together to showcase elegant brutality. Simple light and heavy attacks form the foundation of offense, while blocks, parries, and dodges are essential for survival. Basic combos and special moves offer great utility for specific situations without ever feeling too complex. Blocking is wise, but waiting to time blocks perfectly will parry opponents, making them especially vulnerable for follow-up attacks. The timing can be tricky though, and taking a few hits from even the weakest enemies will knock you out. Dodging is another critical technique and can be used to avoid either high or low attacks. In every aspect of combat, matching the rhythm of your opponents is a precise task that requires mastery and punishes mistakes. But pulling it off to dismantle a room full of enemies is euphoric. Each enemy has health and structure meters, with stronger foes having more of each, along with a deadly arsenal of kung fu techniques. Breaking an opponent's structure opens them up to a finisher that takes them out of the equation. The same goes for you, as blocking too much can break your structure, leaving you vulnerable. Certain special enemies are able to block your finishers and come back even stronger, adding an extra layer of intensity and strategy to each fight. Sometimes your biggest fight is with the camera though, especially when you're surrounded and the panic sets in. It isn't frequent enough to be a major hindrance, but it can get in the way from time to time.
Who's this?
How the fuck did he get here?
To help even the odds, weapons are littered throughout the arenas in the form of knives, baseball bats, bottles, and staffs. Smacking foes around to the ping of a baseball bat feels incredibly empowering. Additionally, a focus meter builds up over time, which can be used for more powerful moves like knocking an enemy off their feet or stunning them. Enemy encounters offer a wide variety of combat scenarios to test your skills, ranging from one-on-one face-offs to rooms full of armed thugs. Boss fights are particularly harrowing, testing your resolve and ability to adapt. The botanist wields a deadly machete, hiding in bamboo and leaping out at you for surprise attacks. Meanwhile, the fighter is relentless with his staff. Learning each of their attack patterns takes practice, but taking them down one by one is tremendously rewarding. When you die, it isn't the end thanks to the mysterious talisman. You begin a game at age 20 with a death counter at 0. With each defeat, your age and the accompanying death counter both rise. Gaining 1 or 2 years for a death doesn't seem like a huge deal, but when the counter rises to 6, 7, and higher, a death can be disastrous. When you reach certain age thresholds, your attack power rises, but overall health decreases. After hitting 70, the next death is final and sends you back to the hub. Defeating powerful enemies and bosses lowers the death counter, as will spending a large amount of XP at a shrine to reduce it back to 0, adding another subtle layer of choices to consider.
You want some more?
Sifu is tough, but there are a few ways the challenge is alleviated. Upgrade shrines located throughout each stage allow you to enhance certain attributes, granting perks such as increased structure, extra health awarded on takedowns, and more powerful melee weapons. These upgrades only apply for the specific run you're on, and they can be replaced by replaying the stage and choosing new ones. In addition to the shrine upgrades, a literal skill tree offers unlockable combos and special moves. By spending enough XP on a move after you've unlocked it, you can keep it permanently. Some of these moves are utterly essential, like the ability to use a weapon after it breaks, or kicking objects at enemies. The most helpful discoveries are optional shortcuts. By progressing and exploring each environment, you may find keys that open alternate paths that bypass challenging encounters at the expense of missing out on certain shrines. When you reach a stage, your lowest age upon arrival is saved, encouraging you seek out these shortcuts and get intimately familiar with each map's layout through repetition. Without a doubt, Sifu is very, very hard. There currently aren't any difficulty options, although easier and harder modes are coming in future updates. The first few hours can be a grueling gauntlet of death and rebirth, but practice and mastering the mechanics is undeniably fulfilling. Replaying stages and encounters may sound off-putting to some, but even in failure, there's more to see and more to learn as you find progress in the form of collectibles, shortcuts, permanent unlockables, and most importantly, your own level of skill and understanding. The combat and sense of growth are impactful, but all of this is made even more worthwhile thanks to Sifu's exceptional presentation. Each stage has a striking aesthetic, like the neon-infused nightclub and the sleek art museum that are as fun to explore as they are to beat people up in. The music adds a palpable momentum and does an awesome job of knowing when to ramp up the tension for high-stakes showdowns. There's also the detective board, which visually showcases all of your acquired collectibles and offers insight into each of the game's antagonists. Slowly putting the clues together makes the journey mean more than simply beating your adversaries. Sifu is intimidating, but rewards patience and perseverance. An engaging tale of revenge is presented with slick confidence, but it's the fluid fighting mechanics that really shine. It has the perfect amount of depth without being needlessly complex, putting a sense of weight behind every blow. Slow Clap has delivered something special, and it's up to you to experience it. Final score, 9 out of 10. All our reviews are made possible by generous viewers just like you. Check out patreon.com/EasyAllies to keep Easy Allies going and get access to exclusive shows like Trash Babies, where we pass the controller dumpster diving through low-rated games.
I do not want to fight you. That feeling of vengeance, it will not cease here.